Hi, I'm John Davis, and this is Motor Week. Join us for a pair of Porsche Panameras that push the sports sedan envelope. Pat Goss brings his tools to the inside at Goss's Garage. Brian Robinson finds a Harley-Davidson that truly breaks from the pack. And then we'll peg the macho meter in one tough pickup, the Ram 1500 TRX. So come drive with us next.
Motor Week, 40 years steering you in the right direction.
The Porsche lineup has certainly gotten a lot more diverse over the last few decades, but through it all, their priorities have remained unchanged. Performance is still number one. And for 21, the Panamera Sedan Series adds more performance and more diversity, as well as a lot more of just about everything else. The Porsche Panamera executive car was quite a shock to the Porsche system when it debuted just 11 years ago. Since that time, multiple SUVs and even the all-electric Taycan sedan have been grabbing most of the headlines. So for 2021, Porsche is giving the Panamera liftback some exciting updates of its own in order to turn a few more heads in its direction. Getting right to the good stuff, the Panamera Turbo gets a new engine. The 4-liter V8 twin-turbo has almost completely new internals, as well as upgraded fuel injectors with a reduced compression ratio, all to jack up horsepower from 550 to 620 in this Turbo S. 37 additional pound-feet of torque as well, going from 567 to 604. And no doubt about it, it feels fast as Hades, but also smooth and super composed over any surface, although it remains a very big car with limited outward visibility, so it can be hard to precisely place on narrow back roads. Still, we appreciate its old-school, no-nonsense feel, i.e. no electric assist or battery weight to deal with, just persistent on-tap power. Oh, and it's hellishly fast at the track, too. It doesn't so much launch off the line as explode, and it feels truly surreal to hit 60 in just 3 seconds in an all-wheel drive car weighing well over 4,000 pounds. The engine sounds great, while the 8-speed dual-clutch automatic fires off gear shifts like its life depends on it. The quarter-mile passes in just 11.3 seconds at 125 miles per hour. But it's not all about high-speed thrill rides. Porsche is also expanding their hybrid offerings by adding a 4S e-hybrid to the lineup, giving you a third option between the 4e hybrid and the Turbo S e-hybrid. It adds 100 kilowatts of electric assist to Porsche's 443 horsepower 2.9-liter twin-turbo V6 for a combined output of 552 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. And it turns out it actually is all about high-speed thrill rides, as the 4S e-hybrid is almost just as fast as the Turbo S. It's hard to tell how much electric assist is happening or how much of it is just sheer engine brutality. But ultimately, it doesn't matter, as it arrives at 60 in 3.2 seconds, just 0.2 slower than the Turbo S. Same quick and satisfying shifts from the same 8-speed dual-clutch automatic with a soundtrack that, while not as aggressive as the V8, is ultimately more classic Porsche. Even more impressive was this assisted 6's ability to maintain its pace with the Turbo S, as the quarter-mile time was also just 0.2 off at 11.5 seconds and 119 miles per hour. And when you're not chasing quarter-mile times, you can get close to 20 miles of EV-only driving, which is a few more than before thanks to a larger 17.9 kilowatt-hour battery that will get shared with the rest of the Panamera e-hybrid lineup. Even with the added weight of those batteries, the 4S e-hybrid remains a highly competent cone carver with well-weighted steering and excellent feedback, No excessive oversteer or understeer to deal with either, regardless of suspension setting. There are some additional updates shared by all 2021 Panameras, including making the previously available Sport Design front fascia standard, a new continuous LED light strip across the back of the car, and fresh wheel designs for both standard 20s and optional 21s. Changes inside are equally minor, but include a new multi-function steering wheel design for most models. The Turbo S comes with its own unique GT Sport steering wheel with leather-covered shift paddles. Government fuel economy ratings haven't been finalized yet, but we averaged 19.2 miles per gallon in the Turbo S and a great 52.9 miles per gallon in the 4S e-Hybrid. Final pricing hasn't been announced just yet either for 2021 Panamera models, but we expect a slight increase over the current base $88,500. Our 4S e-Hybrid should be well into six figures, with the Turbo S a bit more. And don't forget, there are also long wheelbase executive versions as well as wagon-like sport Turismos. From day one, the Porsche Panamera has provided luxury sports sedan performance with the soul of a 911 sports car. Proof that driver enjoyment truly is an integral part of Porsche's DNA. So for you SUV holdouts out there who demand long-distance comfort, but also desire the engagement and performance that only a true sports sedan can fulfill, the 2021 Porsche Panamera delivers everything you want and more.
I was involved in a car accident in September 30th of '92.
Larry Rodriguez has returned to the wind and the open road thanks to this powerhouse three-wheeler, the American Thundertrike.
You know, it was just a sense of being alive.
We all know that electric vehicles are becoming more and more common on our roads, and that goes for two-wheeled ones as well as four. Well, this week our Brian Robinson rides an electric motorcycle from an unexpected source.
If you would have told me 20 years ago, heck, even 5 years ago, that I'd be plugging into a Harley-Davidson, I would have thought you were crazy. But the future is here, and Harley-Davidson is embracing it.
That's right, the brand known as the Harley-Davidson Motor Company finally has a motorcycle with an actual electric motor and not an internal combustion engine. It's called the Livewire, and it's unlike any Harley ever. Starting with where the V-twin would typically be, here you'll find a 15.5 kilowatt-hour high-voltage lithium-ion battery with cooling fins. Underneath of it is the HD Revelation, a water-cooled 78 kilowatt permanent magnet motor rated at 105 horsepower and 86 pound-feet of torque, which can deliver the Livewire and rider 260 in just 3 seconds. A single-speed gear set allows sending the power to the rear wheel through a familiar Harley-Davidson belt drive setup. The biggest compliment to give right away is that it feels like a real motorcycle, meaning you hop on, fire it up, and get to riding. It never feels like some sort of science project or proof of concept vehicle that you need to be cautious or gentle with. They've even engineered an engine-like pulsing into the bike when at idle to remind you that you are indeed on a living, breathing machine. And it's not silent either. No simulated V-twin rumble, thankfully, but there is a constant whirring sound typical of a high-performance electric motor. Charging at home can be done overnight on a typical household level 1 120-volt outlet, but it also accepts DC fast charging for a full charge in about an hour. And of course, everyone's second question after "that's a Harley-Davidson" is how much range? Well, range ranges from 95 miles on the highway to as much as 146 miles in low-speed city traffic, all highly dependent on your riding style, obviously. And there's more than enough comfort in the seat to use all of those miles at one time. A host of car-like safety systems, including ABS and traction control, are standard, as is front-wheel lift mitigation. all with unique settings for sport, road, rain, and range ride modes, with the ability to customize your own individual setup. Some practical things I noticed that could be improved on: the mirrors could be out a little wider so that I'm not looking at my forearm so much, and depending on where your thighs fall, this protruding connection point in the frame can rub you the wrong way. Pricing starts at $29,799 with your choice of 3 colors. As an incentive, Harley's partnership with Electrify America gets you up to 2 years of free charging at any of their DC fast charging stations. The Harley-Davidson Livewire is truly an altogether new and different Harley-Davidson experience. Many of you watching are already thinking of reasons not to like it, and the motor company knows that this will not appeal to the vast majority of their current customers. But the truth is, it's not built for them, but for their grandkids, those who put a higher priority on technology and sustainability than tradition. Harley-Davidson is wise to prepare for those buyers to drive them through their next 100 years.
Many of us are hardcore DIYers, but this week Pat Goss shows us what we should and shouldn't tackle about our cars' interiors.
This time we're going to talk about a couple of things that, well, you might want to try yourself, and one thing that you probably don't want to try yourself. Let's start with the thing that we shouldn't be doing ourselves, and that is right here. If we look at this seat belt, it's all frayed and certainly not safe to be used. So it needs to be replaced. But should you try to replace one yourself? No, not unless you know all of the ins and outs of it, because many of these have pretensioners on them that use an explosive device that can be dangerous. That's number one. Number two, the bolts that hold them in place, well, they are really, really tight, and in most cases require a large wrench and a special Torx bit in order to get them loose. But here's something that you should be considering yourself. It can be expensive if you take it into a shop, and that is that the door panels on a lot of cars, they're held on by these clips. The clips sometimes fall out. The clips sometimes break. They need to be replaced. Well, you can get a set of tools such as we see over here online that's inexpensive enough to make it practical to do yourself. Now, you can take the door panel off. You can find videos that show you how to do that on the internet. And once you have it off, then you need to have replacement clips for it. You can go to the dealer and buy them, or many times you'll find online that you can buy a whole assortment of them that will give you everything that you might need. Put them on, put the door panel back on, and you fix that problem. Oh, tell whoever slams the door so hard not to slam the door. And here's another problem that we see. Door handles. Most all door handles these days are made out of plastic, and the plastic gets brittle with age, and it often fails. Again, you have the option of looking on the internet and finding aftermarket replacements, which may have a much longer warranty than the original ones, and they're often less expensive. Something, again, that you could do yourself. And if you have a question or a comment, drop me a line right here at Motor Week.
This timeless, all-original 1977 Pontiac Grand Prix SJ is our Motor Week 40th Anniversary Car of the Week. Mike Goodwin from Marshall, Illinois, got this 4-barrel carbureted 400 cubic inch V8 Classic to commemorate his very first car. Submit photos of your unique ride for Car of the Week consideration to motorweek@pbs.org. Time now for a couple of quick spins on vehicles sure to bring bling to the roads near you.
Hyundai is set to deliver 3 all-new 7th-gen Elantra models for 2021. The comfortable standard Elantra, the sporty N-Line, and the fuel-efficient HEV. All 3 of which came dressed to impress for our first drives in and around Los Angeles. First, let's start with the extremely fuel-efficient Elantra HEV Hybrid, which is available in SEL or limited trims. The Limited has a combined fuel economy of 50 miles per gallon, while the SEL moves up to 54 mpgs. With best-in-class rear seat legroom and best-in-class passenger and total interior volume, you shouldn't hear any complaints when driving. The HEV comes with a 1.6-liter four-cylinder Kappa engine, rated at 104 horsepower and 108 pound-feet of torque, combined with a 43 horsepower electric motor with an output of 125 pound-feet. And no CVT here, as the Elantra Hybrid uses a true 6-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. Pricing for the Hybrid starts at $23,550 for SEL trim and $28,100 for the Limited. Now we shift gears to the all-gas powered Elantras. Safety features like forward collision avoidance assist, driver attention warning, and blind spot assist come standard, as do many other safety features and technology. The team at Hyundai have also given these new models a bolder look for the exterior. The interior gets a facelift too, with large digital screens for infotainment, a wireless phone charger, customizable cup holders, and ambient lighting with 64 colors available to customize your ride. Powering the standard Elantra is a new 2-liter four-cylinder engine, rated at 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque. Compared to the Hybrid, fuel economy drops to a respectable combined 37 miles per gallon. Pricing starts at $19,650. While we only drove the Limited model, we can surely say it is extremely comfortable and capable. Last but definitely not least is our favorite of the group, the Elantra N-Line. On sale by the end of the year, the performance-inspired N-Line is available on the Elantra for the first time. The N-Line features unique exterior and interior design elements, including a cascading front grille, lip spoiler, 18-inch wheels, twin chrome exhaust, unique leather steering wheel, analog gauge clusters, and alloy pedals. The N-Line stands out from other Elantras in a big way, with its 1.6-liter turbocharged GDI four-cylinder engine that boasts 201 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. That can be mated to either a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic with paddle shifters or a 6-speed manual transmission. Add to that the updated suspension, and this car is an absolute blast to drive. The sound and feel of this N-Line Elantra was a fun surprise. We will have a more in-depth review of these Elantras soon.
There's nothing subtle about the 2021 Cadillac Escalade. And while the 5th generation of Caddy's Tahoe-based 3-row SUV is sure to attract attention everywhere it goes, thanks to its chic style and industry-leading technologies such as the 36-speaker AKG Studio Reference Audio System, Super Cruise Driver Assistance, augmented reality navigation, and even the first curved OLED display in a production vehicle, it's something different that lured us in for a quick spin: a diesel engine. That's right, sensational luxury and extreme long-haul capabilities combined here with the help of GM's 3-liter i6 Duramax turbo diesel. Rated at 277 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, the Duramax delivers 27 miles per gallon on the highway, 23 combined. The Harley base engine is a 420 horsepower 6.2-liter V8. Both work through a 10-speed automatic transmission. The standard length Escalade, as well as this extended suburban-like Escalade ESV, benefit greatly from the platform's shift to independent rear suspension, but adds to it with both magnetic ride control and a new air ride adaptive suspension for a smoother demeanor with less body roll. We certainly appreciate the newfound agility, but more importantly, that the redesign also creates additional space for flexibility inside for cargo, as well as for passengers in both the second and third rows. That previously mentioned OLED technology is actually comprised of 3 screens, providing 38 inches of total display area, a 7.2-inch touch control panel, 14.2-inch virtual instrument cluster, and a 16.9-inch central infotainment display. OLED technology increases visual quality, of course, but also reduces glare, eliminating the need for hoods or shading over the screens. On sale now, the 2021 Cadillac Escalade starting price is just over $76,000, with the ESV kicking off just shy of $80,000. And we'll have more quick spins soon. Without a doubt, the Ford Raptor set a new standard for production pickup truck high performance, just like Ford did with the SVT Lightning before it. And there's been no true challenger until now. Enter the Ram 1500 TRX, an answer to the question, just how insane can you build a Ram? When you have the most talked about performance engine in recent memory and you've already stuffed it into everything from sedans to SUVs, it was only a matter of time before FCA wedged their 700-plus horse supercharged Hellcat V8 under the hood of a Ram pickup, too. Of course, we remember the Viper V10-powered Ram SRT-10 that tore up our test track in 2004. But even that mighty beast packed a mere 500 horsepower. That's over 200 less than today's flame red Raptor Hunter. Indeed, this is no asphalt-bound performance machine. This 2021 Ram 1500 TRX is made to flex its muscles way off-road. And that starts from the ground up. TRX rides 2 inches higher than a standard Ram 1500 4x4. And rolls on chunky 35-inch Goodyear Wrangler tires, sporting 18 by 9-inch black aluminum wheels. They provide plenty of grip in the slippery stuff and just enough built-in cushion to help smooth out the rough spots. On top of that, a reinforced steel frame, active terrain management with Bilstein remote reservoir shocks, new 5-link coil suspension with 13-plus inches of travel, and 11.8 inches of ground clearance. Means the TRX is no parking lot poser. A Dana 60 rear axle with full floating axle shafts is standard equipment. TRX only comes as a short bed 4-door crew cab. Bodywork is 8 inches wider than a standard Ram, as monster fender flares barely cover a 6-inch wider track width. The look is purposefully aggressive with massive Ram badges, skid plates, and steel bumpers with oversized tow hooks. Accent lights inside the aluminum hood's nose may be just for looks, but the dual-path Ram airflow system isn't. It funnels 50% of outside air directly into a 29-liter sealed air box, so intake air is kept cooler. That roaring 6.2-liter supercharged Hemi V8. Here it pumps out 702 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque, driving all 4 wheels all the time through a quick-shifting 8-speed automatic gearbox. Low range and selectable terrain modes pre-configure the 4-wheel drive system to tackle any off-road scenario, and that can include fording water up to 32 inches deep. On terra firma, the TRX sprinted down our test track, returning a faster-than-lightning 3.8-second 0 to 60 time and covering the quarter mile in 12.3 seconds at 110 miles per hour. That's just 8 miles per hour below its manufacturer-imposed top speed. Launch mode in a jacked-up truck may seem ludicrous, but it works. Allowing a little rear wheel slip at launch, it quickly throws power to the front and off you go. Traction is not an issue, but you have to work the wheel a bit to keep it pointed in the right direction. 15-inch front rotors help haul the TRX down from 60 in a respectable 119 feet. Brakes were strong and consistent, while pedal travel was on the long side. Inside, TRX is far from Spartan. The base model's cloth upholstery and standard equipment is based on the Ram 1500 Rebel. A 12-inch touchscreen displays the necessary info, including performance and off-road page apps. As for numbers that will be even more important to buyers, 2021 Ram 1500 TRX pricing starts at $71,690. $17K in options bumped our well-equipped tester up to $87,170. Ram calls TRX the apex predator of the truck world. And in a market where attitude is everything, this T-Rex has usurped the Ford Raptor's swagger in nearly every way. The 2021 Ram 1500 TRX is bold, brash, fearless, and yes, a bit insane, with the bite to back up its bravado. Well, that's our show. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, for more Motor Week, including daily news updates, podcasts, and even complete episodes, cruise on over to pbs.org/MotorWeek. And I hope you'll join us next time when we'll reveal our 2021 Motor Week Driver's Choice Awards for the year's best cars, trucks, and utility. Till then, I'm John Davis. We'll see you right here on Motor Week.
To learn more about Motor Week, television's original automotive magazine, visit pbs.org/MotorWeek. This program was produced by Maryland Public Television, which is solely responsible for its content.
JDM Cargo ni kampuni ambayo inajihusisha na usafirishaji kwa muda wa zaidi ya miaka 10, ambapo tuna uzoefu wa kutosha sana wa kusafirisha mizigo pamoja na kugawa mizigo kwa wateja. Utaratibu uko hivi. Mara nyingi sisi tuna ofisi kubwa China, ambapo wateja wadogo wadogo sio lazima ajaze container, anaweza nunua mzigo alafu akatupelekea warehouse kwetu Guangzhou, ambapo baada ya hapo sisi tunaweza kufunga kwenye container. Ni either sasa ni option yake yeye mteja, ni either anachukua mzigo either wa kwenye package au anaweza kukompress kama bale, na mara nyingi inategemeana na aina ya nguo. Kuna wengi wanao compress kama bale, kuna wengi wanaleta kama package ambazo zinakuwa kwenye maboksi.
Ili kuwa mwanafamilia bora wa Global TV, usisahau kusubscribe, like, kushare na kucomment. Baada ya kusubscribe, bonyeza alama ya kengele ili kupata taarifa kwa kila video inayopanda Global TV Online.